From the PEP Radio Newsroom, these are the stories we are covering at this hour. King Charles III will outline new Prime Minister Mark Carney's government priorities in a speech in the Canadian Parliament on Tuesday. It's widely viewed as a show of support in the face of annexation threats by U.S. President Donald Trump. Trump's repeated suggestion that the U.S. annex Canada prompted Prime Minister Carney to invite Charles to give the speech from the throne. The king is the head of state in Canada, which is a member of the British Commonwealth of former colonies. Carney said in a statement that the visit speaks to the vitality of our constitutional monarchy and our distinct identity. It is rare for the monarch to deliver what's called the speech from the throne in Canada. Charles's mother, Queen Elizabeth II, did it twice in her 70-year reign, the last time in 1977. The speech is not written by the king or his UK advisors, as Charles serves as a nonpartisan head of state. He will read what is put before him by Canada's government. Carney, the new prime minister and a former head of the Bank of England, and Canada's first Indigenous Governor-General, Mary Simon, the king's representative in Canada, met with the king on Monday. In other news, a U.S.-backed group that is slated by Israel to take over aid distribution in Gaza says it plans to launch its work imminently despite opposition from the UN and most humanitarian groups and the unexpected resignation of its executive director. The Gaza Humanitarian Foundation is the linchpin of a new aid system that would wrest distribution away from aid groups led by the UN, which have carried out a massive operation moving food, medicine, fuel, tents, and other supplies across Gaza since the war began in 2023. The new mechanism limits food distribution to a small number of hubs under guard of armed contractors where people must go to pick it up. Currently, 4 hubs are being set up, all close to Israeli military positions. 3 are in the far south, where few Palestinians are located. GHF said in a statement that distribution will start as soon as Monday, not to be deterred. Our trucks are loaded and ready to go, it said. Meanwhile, in Europe, Deutsche Welle is reporting that German Chancellor Friedrich Merz announced on Monday that Germany, along with France, the UK, and the United States, had lifted restrictions on the range of weapons they are sending to Ukraine to help in the fight against Russia. There are no longer any range restrictions on weapons delivered to Ukraine, neither by the British, nor by the French, nor by us, nor the Americans, he said at the WDR Europa Forum 2025 at the Republika Digital Conference in Berlin. This means that Ukraine can now defend itself, for example, by attacking military positions in Russia. With very few exceptions, it didn't do that until recently. It can do that now, Merz explained. He also reiterated his position in a post on X, adding, "We will do everything in our power to continue supporting Ukraine." Merz did not specify which country, including his own, had decided on any changes at which stage. The Kremlin responded to Merz's statement that lifting range limits on arms delivered to Ukraine by the West would be dangerous. And finally, the Philadelphia Gay News is reporting that following an abrupt announcement by Gallier, the organization would no longer be a fiscal sponsor for Philly's upcoming Pride events, the local LGBTQ+ community had one resounding question: is Pride canceled? And the answer: absolutely not. The Urban Affairs Commission stepped up to give Philly Pride 365, which organizes the events, a new home for now. And as Pride Month approaches, organizers are preparing for another action-packed and resource-filled weekend. Before last year's Pride event, Tyrell Brown, one of the event's key organizers and now the executive director of the city's Office of LGBTQ+ Affairs, told the Philadelphia Gay News, "Pride is getting bigger. What is that telling you about the power of our community?" Well, this year, the crowd is likely to continue growing, and organizers have been intentional about making space for those newcomers. Festivities will begin on Friday, May 30th, with a day of celebration throughout the city, and America's largest pride flag, a record-shattering 400-foot flag, was unfurled during last year's festivities. There's never enough flag to go around, Brown said at the time. Maybe that's the call to action, to build more so people can grab a hold. Our flag is kind of a symbol of solidarity and unity. And that's the news at this hour. If you are watching our videos on YouTube, be sure to click the subscribe button. Download the Live 365 app to take PEP Radio with you wherever you go. Up next is the Meadville area weather forecast here on PEP Radio.